Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the SZR Winter Series. Race is about to jump out on the course, and we have got Mr. Rassam Bahati and myself with you today to watch the absolute suffering. You know, Rassam, today we've got quite the course. I don't know if you've seen what these guys and gals are gotten themselves into today, but
I have not.
Last time we broadcasted, we were chatting a lot about Leith Hill, you know, absolute suffering on these uphills, true climbers course. Yep. Well, today we have a new course that hasn't been ridden yet that I know of. As far as, well, a new course hasn't been ridden in a race yet, at least not in the SZR series. We're doing the big loop today, the Watopia Big Loop, which has the Mayan Jungle expansion in it, as well as the Epic KOM in reverse. So we're going to have quite amount of climbing. Well, we're not going to be doing any climbing, but the boys and girls out on course are going to be absolutely suffering. Going to be a change up most likely in some of the results. I do see Davis out here, who last time we broadcasted with him out there racing, said he had a dog eat his homework or something. Wasn't exactly sure what
he talked about
there.
The dog. He called me for the next 2 days talking about that dog. I don't think that dog was his, but we already know he's a proven Zwift racer. He's pretty good out on Zwift, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say the dog ate his homework. But he should be nice and rested and ready to go for this race today.
For sure. And so we are looking at this as a series, just so everybody knows. If you are unfamiliar with the SZR racing series, we're 3 races in 10 races, I believe it is total. I'm going to double check some of the information here real quick and go ahead and read out for you the event info, so you guys know exactly what kind of race is going on in front of you. So the races more geared toward the pure racing, or what you might want to call in real life type racing. So there's no TT bikes, and power-ups are disabled in this event module. So no power-ups are allowed in this race. The riders are battling it out for points is in a best 10 out of 12 races. So it was 12 races total, and it will be their best 10 that will be scored in their total for the series. We are race number 3 in to the 12 at this point. The points in this race series, actually, me and Rasan have talked about this. Rasan and I have talked about this a little bit actually. Very big spreads between each one of the places out here. So first place gets 25, and then there's a drop off to 15, then 12, then 10, and then a drop of 2 points all the way down to 1 point for 10th place, and only paying out the points to 10th place actually in the series here. So definitely a high contention racing series. You got to show up and bring it every time you do so.
Yep.
Real quickly, I also want to chat a little bit about who's leading what series too. So Cartheselius, 3 races in, a third and a win, averaging 15.3. So it looks like a third, a win, and a little bit behind the podium them on that other result. Tom Grimshaw, second and second, super consistent. I think he took second overall to Kim Little actually in the fall series for this. 40 has 2 races in. Always be watching out for him. If he's out on course today, I think he's going to be gunning for the W, but I know he raced yesterday out on the London course actually, so maybe taking a day off. Davis, though, who we've been talking about, he's got 1 win in already, but he's got to race every race from here on out, I think, after he's only got 1 race in, and since it is a best 10 out of 12, no more dogs eating the homework, Rasan.
Yeah, no more dogs. Lock the dog in the garage for an hour and a half. I'm sure in Southern California the dog will be okay. It's nice weather right now, so yeah, he's gonna have to go out there and get some results, because we talk about that point structure. You know, you're back to, you got 1 win, but then you fall off, you get no points. People who are being consistent consistently been in the top 10 is going to easily overtake him and be in the running for the podium. So, yeah, I'm going to keep – I mean, he's a friend of mine, so I'm going to keep an eye out on him, see how he's doing, but also give him some crap if he gets his butt kicked.
There you go. There you go. Well, you know, it's going to be bringing that fitness, though, to the local group rides and races as they do start up. You guys start up very early down there in SoCal.
Way
actually.
early. I think we're working on our fourth
right?
weekend.
Oh,
yeah, the first race was like the first weekend of the new year. Yeah, so it's been pushed up. It seems like every year races start earlier and earlier. I remember back in the day, you know, the first big race was it's now called Roger Milliken, but it was called the St. Valentine's Massacre, and it was just a little crit out in the city of Brea, and it was over Valentine's Day weekend, and it was massive. It was always a lot of crashes, but that was kind of like the kickoff of the season. Now you're talking that race would be like maybe number 10 of the season.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, there's so many races in January.
February. That's
in February.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Whew.
I know. But all these races are done come about June, July, and that's when I come and start winning all the races because all the fast guys are tired.
There you go. Yeah, so I mean, that's when we get started. May, June
exactly.
Here. That's when we're actually, that's like, we're like two different seasons. It's like Australia and North America is the difference almost, it feels like, with you guys and your racing over there. So, looking here, though, we do see the series leader. Now, maybe because of having the most races in, and so things may start to even out as we get further into the series. But Carl Teselius here riding for the SZ team, as you can see, hammering away. As they do hit their first little bit of an incline here, this is probably going to be the first place that we see any kind of real separation. But a lot of the riders might be holding off because they have a lot of climbing in front of them, and it's going to be all about who is the climber on the day. You know, we talk a lot about different talents within a field. We have the sprinters, days. We have the punchers days where it's got a lot more of like the Watopia hilly course, or the even Box Hill, a little bit more of a puncher course. But this is pure climbers course, 15 minutes. You're hitting gradients up into 10, 15. I'm thinking it even gets into, it might be over 10% if we do go all the way. I'm not sure if we're going all the way to the radio tower. I'll have to double check the course here. But if we are, we're kicking up almost to 17%. So, Rasan, on a day like this, what are you thinking going in to the climbs?
I mean, if it were me, I have to have a good warm-up. You know, the climb is going to come soon, and you don't have an opportunity to recover on a climb like that. So once you hit the climb, you have to just go into your zone and hold on. Hopefully, if you're one of the better guys, you can dictate the pace and not go into your reserve. But if you're not one of the better guys and you start dipping into the reserve, your race will be over very quickly. So as you can see, they're actually going a lot slower than what they usually do in the first 5 to 10 minutes of these events, knowing that they're going to have that climb coming up. So we have to wait and see what kind of fireworks are going to be going off once they hit that climb.
You know, it's like you reserve for the all-out threshold effort that you know is going to be coming. Like, you know that you're going to be in the pain locker for a solid 15 minutes or so or more. Yeah. They do also have to climb into the jungle loop first. So they're hitting the jungle loop first. That's a climb in and of itself. They're going to hit up, I think it's going to be about 4-minute climb as well, out of the Mayan ruins and up toward the suspension bridge, actually, the old rickety bridge there. So going to be interesting to see what the initial breaks are there. But then the true climbers course starts once they head on up Watopia Mountain. If you have not seen Watopia Mountain before and you're tuning in maybe for the first time to watch a Zwift race out here, that is Watopia Mountain off in the distance there. And the radio tower is up at the top there. I believe they are heading toward the radio tower for this climb here. And they need to make their way all the way to where the green is there. They'll be taking a right-hand turn off into the jungle loop, the mine expansion loop, and then that is a circle in and of itself, and then that will be shooting them back over toward the mountain. And you know, some of the climbing will already be done at that point, so it does give them a little bit of reprieve. So maybe it's going to be more of a 12 to 11 minute climb after they leave the mine expansion. We have a lot of interaction actually coming in through here from Twitch right now. I am following the Twitch chat. If you are not over at twitch.tv/Zwift Community Live, make sure you're heading over there, hit that follow button, and you will be able to get live notifications anytime we do go live here with any of our live streams on Zwift Community Live. I also do have the social media over on Facebook coming right on through. Matt Johnson saying, I'm out, can't climb with those guys. Is Matt Johnson actually in the race though today? I know that he did challenge the race actually for the winter series actually a little bit, but good to see Matt hanging out. Strong racer coming from ODZ. Glad to have you here. If you'd like to interact with the broadcast as well, you can do so. Just comment over at Facebook or tweet at us at Z Community Live. And looking through a couple more. Come to Toad, Lee Prouty is saying, asking, now, you got any plans, Rasan, for coming out to the tour of America's Dairyland?
You know, I really did have plans to go, unfortunately. And by the way, Toad will be celebrating their 10th year. So 10 years running Toad. Congratulations to all those guys out there promoting that event. It's a huge undertaking to have a 11-day race series in the Midwest, which in my opinion is some of the best racing in the country at that time of the year. However, I will be just completing Race Across America at the same time that Downer Avenue will be kicking off. So I was considering going
Downer
two
Avenue
totally different races
and Race Across America. I mean, they could be more different actually between each other.
Complete polar opposites, correct? Yeah. So my intentions were to complete Ram and work my way over to Wisconsin, but it's just not going to work out. And I wanted to just give a crack at Downer Avenue Super Preme. I believe, I'm not sure if anyone has won 4 Downer Avenue Super Premes yet. I have won 4, so I wanted to go for 5 to kind of set it up and make sure no one can pass me in that. I know Justin Williams out of LA has won at least 3. I've won 4, so but unfortunately this year I think I'm going to have to miss it and just focus on Race Across America.
Yeah, I think Race Across America is going to be an undertaking, that is for sure. So, but good luck with that. And I mean, we'll be watching out to see what's happening on Downer now, I think, as we get around that time, as well as what's happening with Race Across America, and making sure that you're motivated with a couple of tweets coming at you saying, well, if you're not there for that Super Premium, you better be getting something at Ram here. So now Grimshaw, though, speaking of suffering off the front here, and it looks like Hodges, Rockadot, Grimshaw, it looks like Johansson as well as Berger, all starting to turn the screws at the front here, and we'll see if this is maybe some riders looking to preempt being dropped or preempt the hanging on, or if they're actually the ones that are going to be really the strongmen on the day here. But Carlson's here, Gray is here. We did see Kim Little cheering on Sean the Earl Grey, and 4.1 watts per kilogram coming from him right now. They're going to take a right-hand turn into the expansion here. If you haven't seen the expansion yet, you can actually only access this place out on course by being level 10 or higher, or by joining an event that is going to the jungle loop, or the going to the jungle loop, or going to the mine expansion over here. Same thing. 2 different courses though that you can select out on Zwift here. So it looks like a couple of little dropouts here real quick. So, but we do have another feed. We'll be able to bring them in. We're super prepared on the day for any kind of dropouts whatsoever. So we'll go ahead and see if we can bring in. Now, it looks like Grimshaw here, right along with Larson. A couple of riders did disappear there. Here they are. They did come back here. We do have Erickson and Gray still now, all rocking at the front there. But it is a 12-second gap already to the chasers, actually, as we do have Ogier and Groot here going off the front. Johansson as well. Erickson. Gray actually attacking, it looks like, a little bit there. And we'll see if our other feed can give us a better look at exactly what is happening with the racers.
Yeah, it looks like we have a group of about 20 just kind of rolling over the top. I see a couple Tron bikes in there, so we got some good climbers in that group. And it looks like they're pretty content right now. Johnson, Gray, Grimshaw, Hodges, they're all in there. I saw Davis at the back of that group. And it looks like they're content right now and kind of waiting maybe to the next climb. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it does go downhill at this point. That's a good call there. Like, it definitely is going to calm down here because they're going to take... Now, I'm wondering if they're going to go left or right at the juncture, actually, as they head into the mine expansion here. If they do go left, they'll take an immediate left-hand turn into the... suspension bridge or the rope bridge over there, and then they will be heading down into the Mayan ruins down there, but then climb back out on much more windy climb out of the ruins there. If they do take a right, they'll be heading toward the caves, actually, and it is a very sharp downhill to the right-hand turn and a lot of corners, which makes it very interesting racing. What I'd be interested in is if we can get some crit racing. Well, maybe not crit racing, but more like road lap racing.
Circuit.
Yeah, circuit racing. More like circuit racing out on the jungle loop, because you have a consistent climb in there, but at the same time you have these sharp turns on the way down, which can easily get out of sight, out of mind. And you have little punchers through there on that downhill, which can really make for some interesting racing and some attacks out on the jungle
I agree
loop.
with you, Nathan, 100%. Because so I've been doing more and more Zwift events, and without a doubt, it's all about how long you can hold your power, how fast you can recover after dishing out the power. And having a smaller circuit race on here will be pretty fantastic and pretty fun to watch. Maybe something we can throw on the board upstairs and see if they want to make a little circuit race for us for the group to tackle. I think it'll be really fun to watch.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I think it's designed for it. We have a counter. We have a lap counter on the jungle loop, so we should be able to have a finish line like that, like on the volcano, I would think, within the ruins. So it'd be pretty cool to have. Looking through here, and Kim Little is saying, Gray about to drop his bazooka. Board Pilot's in the house. Good to see you. Board Pilot was actually streaming some Zwift early this morning. Good to see you out in chat, Board Pilot. But definitely check out a lot of these Zwifters actually have been streaming a ton lately. And I've been checking out a few of the streams. If you haven't done so already, over on Twitch, you can actually hit the Zwift game, and you will, down below, on the feed right now on Twitch, you can actually hit the Zwift game and you will see all of the live channels, or you can click on videos as well next to the live channels feed under the Zwift game and see all of the past recorded videos as well. So plenty of VOD content as well as live channels out there for the Zwift community that's been really showing up to stream a ton, actually. So Camilo saying it's oh my gosh, a Booze Bazooka involved a 4-pack of Stella Power Up, and sounds like these guys might know each other in real life. Lee Prouty is saying that Jungle Loop is my favorite, and Crit Life, and I know Lee Prouty does actually race locally. I believe he does actually race in Toad as well at
awesome.
I think the Cat 3 level for Brazen Dropouts, actually, which is a local Wisconsin team. So per Christian Barholm, go ahead, Rasan.
Nathan, I predict that this year at more of the local and national level events, that the races will be much faster. Lap times will be much faster. And I'm going to say it will come because of Zwift. Zwift, when you get into a race on Zwift, it's all about power. It's about consistency and power. So the more you lay down power, the faster you're going to go. So that means when we get into the real world, we can lay down power that much longer. Your FTP raises. So I'm predicting that crit racing and circuit racing around the U.S. will be faster in every category this year.
Oh my goodness, that is a big prediction. That's a big call on
Bold
just Zwift.
statement.
Now, my question though, so is this because you see so many of your competitors on the road? You know, I pay a lot of attention to the mountain bike. You know, I race professionally on the mountain bike. That is the main place where all of my focus was. So I don't have nearly as much in my head about road racing. I know I race against a lot of guys that cross over to the mountain bike. I pay attention to what they're up to mainly. And then UCI, I pay attention to the road on the UCI a little bit. But domestic racing and things like that, not so much. More the mountain bike for me. So on the mountain bike, the buy-in is a little bit slower, it seems like. I do know there are some top pros that are Zwifting. There are definitely other mountain bikers, you know, that are using Zwift a lot, but it's a little bit slower buy-in, I think. On the road, are you seeing like, no, everybody's jumping on and really wanting to get this working, the workouts in and the benefits that you're seeing from Zwift?
Yeah, I mean, at least around here locally, we have great weather, and I'm starting to see more and more people hop on Zwift for many reasons. And then you add the element of these races, and it's just, it ups your level. And you can suck, like me. I suck at Zwift racing, but when I get off the bike and I look at my numbers, and then the next day I'm sore like I've been lifting weights, and then the following day I feel good again, and I'm getting better and better at it, I know that this tool is actually working. So, you know, mountain biking, I'm actually surprised because mountain biking, Nathan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's a lot of resistance in mountain biking, sort of like cyclocross, right? You get out there, you're on gravel, you're on dirt, you're on grass. You're not on this fine pavement where you can go really fast, so it's a lot of resistance. I feel like that's all Zwift training and workouts and races are, is just a lot of resistance that you have to endure. So I think it'll be a really, really good tool for mountain bikers.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. You were completely right there. It was a surprise to me a little bit as well, but it's more of a, I think it's more of a cultural thing and that's not like me kind of a thing. You know what I mean? It's more of a, perception thing, a cultural thing, where this may be in the heads of mountain bikers more of a roadie tool in some respects, or triathlon tool, but it's not that way at all, because the reality is, mountain biking and cyclocross racing is way more like Zwift racing or training, because mountain biking is all about go from the gun and don't stop. There's no, you're not drafting a whole lot unless you make the lead group and you're in the lead group and you're starting at sometimes to think about drafting and playing some games here and there and tactics. That does happen, but you're still never backing off. Like, yeah, the pace might be a little bit lower than threshold, but that's about all you get. And essentially in Zwift, when you're doing these races, you're holding either a little bit under threshold or completely over all out attacking. So when I came into the mountain bike season, it was like, it just clicked. And the races just kind of came to me very naturally at that point because of all of the training out on Zwift. I couldn't believe how beneficial it was. And it's exactly like you say, it is a little bit more like mountain bike racing in effort. Obviously, when you're on a mountain bike dodging trees, threading the needle, that's a little bit different.
Yeah. I'll let you guys have that.
So we are looking through here for the riders now. It has calmed down a little bit. They hit the first climb into the ruins. We had a couple of attacks that looked like on the downhill into the caves here. Some of the most beautiful scenery actually out on Zwift we're finding here for this expansion. But Burgers on the front here. It looks like Teselius, the series leader, has made this lead group. Hodges is in there as well. Grimshaw is there. He is currently, I believe, in that second place overall. I'm not seeing 40. The other question here is, has Davis made this lead group? I'm looking through.
Davis is in the lead group.
Okay, right on. So Davis is in there, and he's currently 4th overall overall. I'm not seeing 40 though. I don't believe
I do not see 40 either.
Showed up on the day for the series. I believe he might be focused on a couple of other series, as he is definitely racing the CVR World Cup. I think he maybe not racing though the Crit Series though. So looking through here, we do see Hodges, Blaney, Frank Larson, Jonas Eriksson, Aaron Groot there, Pierre Villar-Avelsberg actually for the Vikings team, Jimmy Carlson, all in that lead group. It looks like Debski for Team Poland is in there as well in that lead group. We are getting bounced around a little bit here. Let's see if we can grab another feed. Looks like both of the feeds are actually jumping around a little bit. So we'll see what's happening with the C category though, as we haven't talked a lot about the B's and the C's. So maybe a little opportunity for us to grab a few of them, talk about where their standings are at this point. So in the C category, Dennis Westman currently leading for Team SZ. It will be Mikhail Lesniewski there for Team Poland there for with second place overall. 12 points behind, only 2 races in, so could easily bring that back as he's averaging 20 points actually in the series so far in the C category. Stefan Johansson, Russ Redshaw, and then it will be Mark Coughlin in the C category for the overall. I'm not seeing any of those names though in the feed I'm looking at here for the C's actually. We'll see if we can move our way forward. And we do see Vestman here, and that's not Westman, that's Vestman. So we're looking for Westman here. We'll just look like D. Lewis here coming out of Wales. Maybe leading things out here for that C category. I'm going to look through and see if I can find where the standings are. No, a little bit up ahead, actually. It'll be Tyler Mitchell, Julian White, and Joe Garrett's there out of Belgium actually leading the C category. Joe, though, in the wrong category, looks like maybe with 3.7 watts per kilogram on average so far, as well as Julian White, Sebastian Favorial there, all a little bit over category limits. But looking through and seeing, Dave Lewis is currently actually sitting in about 5th or 6th place actually, only a few ahead of him in that C category, but none of the leaders in the C category that I can see are actually in the lead group right now for the series overall. And I have a feeling we might see some change-ups actually in the C category. Mark Coughlin, though, right along with Dennis Westman, they're sitting about 113th overall. They're just a little ways back from these riders, about 20, 30 seconds, it looks like here. Here's Westman actually in this chase group. And Westman here, 151 beats per minute right now, and looks like just following Coughlin, maybe knowing that he is the threat. You know, in a series, it's always all about knowing who to follow, when and where, Rasan, if you're going to be making sure that your competition isn't taking those points from you. And it does look like Lewis here, 5 watts per kilogram, 165 beats per minute, as they're about to start their climb over toward the Watopia reverse KOM. Double tier almost here. They're going to kick up 4 minutes or so, heading on over toward the rope bridge, and then a little bit of a decline for just a moment, but essentially bottom of the ruins all the way to the top of the Watopia KOM. A long effort in front of themselves here, Rasan, and hopefully they got a good warm-up.
And I have to say, Nathan, I'm truly impressed. You know everything about every category and all these different racers. That is impressive, man. I'm like, who is he talking about? Let me find these guys on Zwift Power, you know. That's incredible. So kudos to you, man.
Yeah, no problems. I appreciate it. Well, I have been doing this for a little while.
Impressive.
Been doing this for a little while. I've been watching Zwift racing. So for those of you guys who don't know that, you know, Rasan's, you know, impressed. But I mean, the reality is we started doing the Zwift racing commentary. You know, we were in at Beta, Jarvis Island, training 100 miles with Scotty Weiss, who's hanging out in the channel right now. 100% Zwift a few year back in prep for cross country, Rasan Bastani, but still lost to your boy. Still, I went to the line, and you were hurting legs as well. As W's talking about some racing with you. I'm not sure what race he's talking. We got to hear that story.
Maybe this is in Belize. There's a 100. I think it's 156-mile
police race
called cross country.
Yep.
Yeah, he has to be talking about that one.
I remember the
Zwift
training for that actually.
There.
So I was actually training with SW on Zwift actually while he was getting ready for that police race. Actually, we were hammering on each other for some big rides actually. So
hey, look who walked into the office here.
Westman is in the house.
Salzburger's in the house.
Salzburger.
Hold on, say hello.
What's going on here? Let's bring Wes in.
Hey, what's up?
What is going on, Wes? What all of a sudden coming in from Australia? You and the llama in the house over there?
Yeah, Llama's here as well. Yep. So we're over. I've been over for about a week now. So I'm heading off actually tonight. So Rosan said he was on the stream today with you. So I was hoping to pop in.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Good to have you here. What are you guys doing over at ZHQ? I have a feeling a lot of plans for Australia are going down, especially with having llama there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, just getting a little bit of a sort of an insight of what we're sort of going to put together for activations for in Australia, and obviously working a bit towards the e-crit, which we had in the past. So that's worked really well. So we're hoping to make sure we kick off things with a bang again in Australia.
Sounds like you got a long trip ahead of you, but we really are looking. Yeah. We've been talking a lot about the Australia e-crit series, actually in reference to the crit series that's currently going on and what a success that was. Getting you back on the mic here maybe soon for the crit series. It looks like we're just doing a little testing here.
Yeah, a little testing, just dipping the toes in the water again, and we'll go from there, I guess, Nate.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Everybody say hi to Wes. Great to have him in here with us. And say hi to the llama as well. And lots of travel up ahead of you. How long is that trip? How long is that flight? Just wondering that you're looking at. Not to remind you.
I think it's nearly 15, 16 hours or so. It's a little bit quicker coming here because of the tailwind. I think I've got a headwind back, so get in the aero position, see if I can get there a bit quicker.
Get in the aero position. Tell the pilot, tuck his head down.
Yeah, I had a haircut, so I'm pretty streamlined at the moment. So we'll see how we go with it.
Right on. Wes, it's really good to see you. And really looking forward to everything that's gonna be happening. We're actually already talking within the live streaming realm, Johnny and I, a little bit about what's going to be happening with Australia. You guys down there are always so excited about all the racing, all the events that are going on. So I'm super excited to see what's going to be coming out of your trip, actually.
Awesome. No, I'm looking forward to it too. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good plan. Make sure that we cover everything this time. I think we did a really good job, but I think we can do better. So it's awesome to get things planned and ready to roll.
Right on. All right, so we got to get back to racing here, though. It looks like with the riders here, we have found the A category. Have a great trip.
Awesome.
And Sam Galama. Mate. Yep, see you later, Wes.
Thank you. Bye.
Wes Salzburger.
You won't believe this.
Yeah.
This is the hour of the guest. We have another special guest in the house. Oh, you won't believe this, man.
What is going on
I feel very special. I have all these new guests just coming over and saying hi to me. I'm always in here by myself. No one knocks on the door and say hello. But another Aussie. Come on in. Mr. Miller himself.
The llama, Shane Miller. Oh my goodness. Llama, can you see the racing action? Do you see what's happening?
Where are they heading?
They're going up.
Where are they?
They're going up the reverse. Watopia, KOM right now. Like, all out. What do they got? Kind of situation happening right now. They've already gone. So they're doing today, Llama. Are you familiar with this course? It's the Watopia Big Loop.
Yeah. Okay, right. No, I'm not familiar with this. I've been riding outside too much recently. so refresh me on where they're heading now. I can see some 5.6 watts per kilo, 6 watts a kilo. Those guys are hammering. What's going on? Give me a race update, Nath. Where are we?
Yeah, so for the big loop, they did it reverse. So they headed over toward the volcano, and then they went toward the Mayan expansion, did the Mayan expansion forward, but then they come out and go up the reverse epic KOM. So essentially, it's from the bottom of the valley, not even like over at the marina, but the bottom of the Mayan expansion all the way to the top of the epic KOM. So big day.
Right. Wow. How many we got in the league group there? I can still see a group of 10 to 12, is it, where we're looking at the moment?
Yeah, they're really starting to turn the screws at the front here. I mean, Teselius, then we do have, it looks like Rakadot, Gray, and it's in that like moments of just a straight line. Can you hold on to the wheel in front of you? There are some undulations on this course, you know, on the reverse epic KOM, Miller. I mean, they've got a few times that they get a little reprieve. It's going to be real important to hold on to the wheel here. Debsky falling off, as you can see, but
yeah, see some people pushing over to the little flat section. It's important to maintain those watts, even when the road goes down a little bit there. But those numbers that I'm seeing there, they're making my legs hurt. I'm not even riding a bike.
I saw you were doing a lot of live streams, though, from Long Beach, actually, as well as a couple of VODs coming out from some Zwift content. So it looks like a lot of good coming out of your trip.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a bike with me at the moment, so cycling content's gone down a little bit. So, yeah, while I'm over here, I can just flip up the bandwidth. You guys in America have some great bandwidth, so I can do some Llama Lives. I'm getting some chats and getting some good interaction there. Speaking of which, let's have a look at the chat over here. Who's in the house? Where are we looking at?
We do have
chat going on here.
The Twitch chat, and then, I don't know, I have no idea. What's Rasan? What do you got going on over there for your chats?
Hang on, Rasan's on the headphones at the moment. It's only me.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep,
But
shout out to everyone over in the Twitch. I can see the Twitch chat. So anybody in Twitch chat, give us a shout out. Let us know who you're looking at for the race today. But I'm still seeing numbers at 5.7 watts, 6.7 watts a kilo. Man.
Yeah, they're absolutely flying at this point. I mean, Rakadai here right along. I'd never say this one right, actually. We need Quentin to correct my French at this point here, but Rakadai up the front here, right along with Teselius, trying to follow it up, but the pure climbers today, Shane, I mean, is what it's going to be all about. They're only at the beginning of this climb, 8% gradient. I'm not sure if they actually hit the tower at the top, though. That's going to be the question, because if they do, 17% gradients, absolutely insane. You know, we're out here talking about cycling,
forming off the front there. Wow.
But I saw a lot of content about running coming from you, actually. And if you guys aren't familiar with GP Llama at all, GP Llama over on YouTube does tons of Zwift videos, actually, all about how to get set up, what the latest tech is. Always has the inside view from over on YouTube with what the latest tech is or what the latest updates are. Shane is so on top of it. I get notifications from Shane's apps about what the latest update is. So Miller definitely has the inside view usually on what is coming out. So latest on running? Looks like you had a video coming out about with that.
Yeah. Look, a lot of people are asking about running, how to get up and running. Well, literally, what tech's involved. There's a lot of crossover with the bike stuff as well that we've done. So we're looking at Bluetooth, Ant Plus. It's all the same. The difference there is we're using foot pods and treadmills. So I did an overview video the other day, just running 101, how to get up and running for now, and we'll start diving into all the specifics very soon. So what foot pod, how to calibrate, how to have a better experience on the bike and on foot. So, lots of crossover, which should explode the channel for the type of content that I can do. And there's a lot of triathletes out there who do both as well. So we'll get the running crowd, we'll get the tri crowd, the Ironman crowd. There's, people just getting fit. I love it. Yeah, it's good to see Zwift moving into that as well.
Well, you got has it been a long week? You got a long trip in front of you. We were talking about that just a moment ago. And how do you prepare? Before we let you go, Shane, how do you prepare for a 16-hour flight straight through?
A long-haul flight. I love a long-haul flight. Now, what I define as a long-haul flight is it's a type of trip where you jump on the plane, you have a sleep, you watch 2 movies, you have another sleep, you walk around, and then you're halfway through the flight. And then you've got to do it all again. So you watch about 4 movies. It's like preparing for a race. It really is. You've got to go in hydrated. You've got to stretch. You've got to have some food with you because you don't know when your next meal is going to come out. They sort of feed you at weird times, especially with international flights. For example, flying over here, we had breakfast. and our body clock was 12 a.m. and we're being served breakfast as the sun was rising. So it's really weird. So I always have some bike food with me. I've been eating cycling food for years and years. There's always something in my back pocket, just like you do out in a ride. So I treat it like a big long ride, a 12-hour ride. Yeah, it's not too bad, but you've got to be entertained. And yeah, it's a bit of a challenge. And yeah, getting to the other end, it's good to see the finish line, I tell you.
Yeah, it's good to see the finish line there. Yeah. And I always prepared by downloading seasons of whatever I could to whatever device I was bringing with me. I'm assuming though on those longer flights though, they provide plenty of media. Hopefully, I would hope, depending on the airline you're jumping on.
And yeah, usually all the new movies are there as well, but I've always got the laptop with all the latest movies on there as well through iTunes. And you've always got to have, noise cancelling headphones, I think is a big one as well. So if you want to get to sleep, you can just put those on. Everything just drones out and you can get some Z's on the plane. But it's about moving as well. If you're sitting static, your back gets locked up and you've got to jump out of the plane and stretch. And the next 2 days on the bike or out running, you'll feel a bit locked up. So I'm always about moving around. And yeah, you've really got to treat it like a race, as I said, which is kind of funny. A lot of non-athletes, I guess, fly and it does knock them around a bit. So, yeah, you just got to be prepared.
All right, Shane, it's great to have you in with us here. Guys, GP Llama over on YouTube. That's the place to go for all of the content from Shane. Shane, it's great to see you, man. Thanks for coming in with us.
No worries. Cheers. I'll be around a little bit longer, so I'll keep checking on this stream and seeing those watts I'm seeing there. Still 5-7 watts a kilo spikes. That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
so I'm going to hang around in the background
absolutely
here
demolishing
and check out
themselves,
how these guys
man.
go at the top. Yeah, unbelievable. Oh, say good day to everybody for me, Nathan, and we'll be back soon. I'll pass you back over to the other host.
See you later, Shane. All right, so Miller in the house. A couple of Australians hanging out there, not in the land.
Yeah, from down under. Yeah. One of the words I found out they use a lot in Australia is legend. Oh, you're a legend, mate. You're a legend.
Absolute
These two are legends.
legend.
Two legends. See you guys later. Maybe take them out for a lunch ride today or something like that. Yeah, it's good to have them in the office. It's always a lot of good energy coming from down under, and they get to see what we're doing here and kind of elevate the program a little bit away from the Long Beach office. So I'm glad they stopped in.
Yeah, they definitely know how to get excited about Zwift as well, actually. I mean, they definitely have quite the community out on Zwift, actually. So it does look like here we're back in with some of the races at the front. Now, we are jumping around a little bit here. For some reason, FanView is really acting up today. So I do have two different feeds here, but both of them are kind of giving me trouble. So we're going to try and stay with the racers.
I've got a pretty decent feed because I joined the race, of course, but only just watching. So right now, Rockadot is off the front by 20 seconds, doing 4.4 watts per kilo. He's 17.5 miles in. And next up, chasing in a group of 4 is Grimshaw. Gray is at I can't pronounce that. Jerksith?
Jerksith, yeah, that's usually what I go with is Jerksith. Yeah.
Yeah, so that group is chasing Rockadot. They actually made a good little dent. It was at 20 seconds for a while. Now they're at 13 seconds. And then it's a pretty big gap from that point on. The next group back is about 40 seconds, which contains about another 4 to 5 riders. And then it's just pieces everywhere, bodies all over the road. So you're going to see some staggered groups finishing this race, some 1s and 2s here. But right now, Rockadot is absolutely flying, 6.0 watts per kilo right now.
I do believe whenever we do go uphill, he tends to be the climber type, actually. So I'll be watching out for him to maybe walk away with this one. Only 12 seconds, though. So it's going to be still a difficult day to stay away. So like you said, there is that chase group there. Teselius, Gray, Grimshaw, Jerkseth, all together. Ozier's there then with another chase group. Chase group number 2 on the course there will be Debsky. Ozier there as well. Will be Avelsberg actually for the Vikings team. Davis is there. And is he known to be a climber locally? That's a question I would have.
It looks like Larson. No, not really. When I was coaching Mike, he was more of a sprinter. He has a really center of gravity, meaning he's a little guy. So he doesn't have a lot of weight on him, but he's kind of like a little bowling ball. So he packs a big punch, really quick snap. But I think guys like him that have a lot of power can actually sustain a lot of that power on a climb. But unfortunately, I think this climb today was just a little bit too long for a rider of his type.
Yeah, so it does look like he is trying to hang on at this point. 345 watts right now, 5 watts per kilogram. Might be the next one to bite the dust off the back here. Larson here then from GTD, it looks like, trying to jump back on this wheel. This is the last moments in the reverse epic KOM. When you hit that downhill after the 2 little bumps up toward those electrical wires there, or not electrical wires, I think those are actually ski lifts actually, but the
ski lifts, yeah,
over by the ski lifts. Once you go past those, you're looking at about 4 to 5 minutes to the top, and it's that VO2. Like, you've already been over threshold, but you know that you can go completely over. You can go all in at this point toward the Epic KOM banner. Actually, this is usually when I start looking to the left for that Epic KOM time here. Rocket already over the top, it looks like here. Solid climb coming from him. 36 seconds now. It does not look like they will be taking that right-hand turn, though. So they will be getting an Epic KOM time out on the mountain here today. Teselius here following up. Now it looks like Debsky here now 40 seconds back. Next one to bite the dust. This is when the race really starts, because over the top now, everything's in absolute mayhem. Riders have fallen off the pace. Grimshaw 5 seconds back. Teselius there 8 seconds back. Jerktet as well. If they get together though and work together, Rocket's within striking distance, but if they don't work together and he's got the watts, he's gone. So
yeah, at this point, if the group behind works together, someone is going to be left off, right? Somebody's going to be like, well, we're all working, but I want to get second or I want to get third. So this is always a tricky situation, because you have one guy who's the dominant factor right now, and then you have this group that's saying, let's work together, and then it becomes, who's going to be the best out of this group that's working together? And a lot of times they don't want to make that sacrifice. It's like, well, I'd rather save everything and, consolidate my efforts and get second or third. I don't know. I don't see them working together to try to close that gap of 25 seconds.
We do see Teselius here kicking actually with some orange numbers here. 9 watts per kilogram. Great. Now being caught immediately. And as you can see, Grimshaw is in here as well. Now they may not be working together, but these surges are going to cause some speed, and it's brought back to 25 seconds actually here. We're going to see some big changes in that time gap, I think, just because of the nature of the downhill here, as there are a couple of places where you do go back uphill and then back downhill. At the top here, before they hit the wooden bridge actually on the downhill section here, let's go and take a look actually from up top. This is actually a great view that we can get from the helicopter here and see exactly what the gaps look like. Gray was almost caught. It was 1 second. He saw them coming, gave a little kick, opened it up to 12 seconds again. I'm not sure they're going to catch Sean Gray actually here. Team Experimental up the front for second place. There's a lot of infighting. Nobody wants to work together, it looks like here. All about second,
and
place.
Nathan, we talked about this before, is when you have those big surges, yes, you may take a chunk of 3 or 4 to 5 seconds off of that lead, but soon as you get off of the throttle, that 5 seconds turn to 7 seconds. And so you do it again, you put a dent to 4 to 5 seconds, and then you get off the throttle and it goes to another 8 seconds. So it's more about doing that endurance chase more than the sprint chase, which sprint chases never work out in the favor of the chasers.
Yeah, gotcha. Unless you're on the mountain bike. It's like the opposite. In our world, when it starts to speed up on the mountain bike, when the attacks start to happen, because the attacks happen on the uphills, and then it's like the opposite. Like, I'm listening, I'm like, that's like totally not what it's like
That's
in my
not how
race.
it works.
But no, I obviously have raced road. I understand it's totally how it works actually on the road completely. I always get yelled at on the road actually because I'll start surging and they'll be like, dude, consistent. What are you doing? You're going to screw everything up. You're putting us over threshold. We're going to have to slow down. Stop messing with us. Because on the mountain bike,
I'm always afraid of mountain bikers. You guys are so strong. And I think that's why roadies always yell at you. It's like, dude, how could this guy just accelerate so fast and hold it for so long? It's because that's all you do in the dirt. You accelerate and you hold it. You accelerate and you hold it. So you guys are phenomenal. I'm always afraid of mountain bikers in the road race.
Yeah, well, I think it's also because we're sporadic and out of control. I think we don't do what anybody expects us to do. And you're like, yeah, we're afraid of you. Like, you just kind of go over there, like away from the rest of us. But we definitely have a situation, though, where when we surge at the front, toward the last 2 laps, you always start thinking about who the chasers are who are starting to attack each other because you know they're speeding up, or who's off the front because you know the pace is going to keep on going faster and faster toward the end of the race, though. But Rocket out here, 40 seconds. I don't know. That's a lot of time for Gray to bring back. It looks like he may just be the strongest rider on the day in the A category. Gray here, 2.5 watts per kilogram. He's going to have to start thinking about the chasers here. On the downhill, they are doing 40 miles per hour here, it looks like. I do not have a K. I do not have a metric system reading here anywhere, but it looks like 36 right now. Grimshaw, 38. He might get caught with 3 here. Starting to stay consistent, actually, it looks like. Debsky here off the back with Avelsberg, though, it looks like, as we're starting to jump around a little bit. And we'll see if we can get back in with the C category, who's still climbing, actually. Let's check in with them as things are calming down for the A category just a little bit, actually. So,
Nathan, before you jump into the C's, I want to point out something we have totally neglected to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
They have ridden 21 miles and covered almost 2,200 feet of climbing.
Oh, my goodness.
That is a lot of vertical gain in only 21 miles. I think the most I've ever witnessed in a Zwift event.
Yeah,
2,200 feet of climbing in 21 miles.
They're actually, 2133 here, 2142. This is a huge amount of climbing, actually, so far.
Oh, so much.
Definitely a climber's course out here today. 51 minutes in. It is going to be a total of 42K, right around, I believe it is going to be 25 miles or so for the racers out here today. And I have a feeling by the end of it, we're going to be pushing into 2,300 if they do have any more climbing out here today. Now, Gray here, it looks like, able to hold off to Celius, as they do have huge amounts of climbing, as you're saying. Now, Jarland is here now. If we can stay on any of the riders, he is one of the riders to be watching out in the B category always. I'm going to take a look at SwiftPower.com, see where he's standing in the B and C category here. Pop Pearson, looks like Ricard Sorman and Tony Axelson still battling out for the top spots, but Pearson in the B category, 62 points, still leading. More consistent, though, rider is Ricard Sorman with 43 points, only 2 races, but 21.5 on the rank. I'm going to see if I can actually find the front end of the B category. We're jumping around maybe a little bit too much for us to find them. So the A category, we're back in with them. Let's see what we can do to find those B and C category riders at the front, as it does jump around for us here a little bit. But I think at the front end of the B category, it will be, I'm going to double check here real quickly, make sure I get this correct, but it is going to be Bo Dutrell actually within category limits. The B category is actually really good lately within all the Zwift races about not going over category limits. Actually, we're seeing 3.9 watts per kilogram, and these mountain courses actually usually do a really good job of keeping people honest, because you have to go out and there's not any reprieve where you're just sitting in and resting on a wheel. So you can't hide your threshold. You can't hide the watts per kilogram that you're able to hold. You have to go out, and if you want to hold on, you throw down your 20-minute effort, you throw down your 5-minute effort. It's going to be everything you got to the top of that climb. So looking here, Bo Dutrell, Ricard Sorman, Jan Thrun, Pa Pearson, all together, it looks like, well, about a 10-second gap the last time through the checkpoint, but it looks like Sorman here now. We are with them on the descent now. They're on the other side, heading through the snow section. Out on course here. Pearson is here. Sorman's here. Dutrell's here. Thrun is here as well. All together. Blom off the back here a little ways, about a minute and a half or so as a chase group within this B category. So this is the situation currently in the B category. 20.8 miles in. Coming from the SZR team, it will be Pearson here. I believe. Actually, no. Riding unattached. I was incorrect there. So riding unattached. Sorman here though as well. Also riding for Toak, it looks like here. Unfamiliar with that team actually. And then Bo Dutrell riding for the ZHR team. Team Orm Salva riders, it looks like. TOR. Team Orm Salva riders. Unfamiliar with them actually here. Let's go ahead and see what, if I've got any information. It's actually a team made up of Ricard Sorman, Nicholas Adamson, Christian Thal, Cecilia Bromstau, looks like Tob Larson, and then Lucas Carlson. This is actually a team that's mainly coming out of Sweden actually. So Sweden with a lot of solid riders actually. A lot of teams as well actually jumping out on Zwift actually here now. It looks like Sorman here giving another kick up toward the front now. And now, excuse me, did I get that wrong? Not Sweden there. Am I messing that up here? Dutrell is there as well. And then Thrun though out of Germany, 4.6 watts per kilogram. A lot of attacks now on the downhill now. Thrun, 7.6 watts per kilogram. This is an interesting place to attack. Rasan, downhill attacks like this, dangerous or kind of like, nah, that was nice, dude. I'm going to catch you.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of attacking on the downhill. I mean, I'm only 160 pounds, you know. Full time when I was racing, I was 150 pounds, so downhill wasn't in my favor. Just didn't have enough weight, so gravity wasn't in my favor. Now, if you're a bigger guy and you can deliver a lot of power and get the thing going downhill, that's why I think that move by Chris Froome a couple years ago in the Tour de France was so impressive, because Froome is not a big guy, and for him to go across the summit like that and be able to get a gap on a downhill and catch everyone off and maintain it just kind of showed what type of raw power he can deliver as a small guy. But talking about Sweden, I actually looked up Stockholm weather right now, and it is 2 degrees Celsius. So yeah, that's close to about 30 degrees and raining Fahrenheit. So it's probably the reason why you find a lot of Swedish riders on Zwift indoors right now.
Yeah, it's perfect timing. 6 p.m. start time, I believe, for them for this race here. And that's why we always have so many riders jumping into, I believe, the SZR races. One of the largest races out on Zwift. We did see 200, I think, and 50 or more riders jumping into this race. And that's with so many different events going on throughout the day. There's an event starting almost every 15 minutes lately out on Zwift, actually. Yeah. So with so many other events going on still, over 250 jumping into the race out here today. Now we're back in with the Rocket Out. He is off the front here. It looks like heading through the Ocean Boulevard right now toward the finish line. I do believe he will be unstoppable at this point, because this is 48 seconds. All there is a climb out of Ocean Boulevard. It's a quick little 15-second climb, but Sean Gray was caught. Grimshaw, the second place overall in the fall series, currently sitting in second place overall in the winter series right now. I think he's showing up looking for that W, but it's always second place for Grimshaw. He's been looking for that win, hasn't been able to pull it off because he's got, let me see here if I double check the winter series here, second, and that's what he's got so far. So it's going to be a third, second place, most consistent rider. Davis has a win, but he's off the back. Not there with them though, actually, but he is leading things out for the chase right now. But he's got the best he can get on the day is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plates or so, I believe. But it's going to be a battle here. Tiselius, current series leader, he's not going to want Grimshaw to take the win here. It's going to be all about making sure Grimshaw does not have that W, I think, here, as that's going to be, it's all about the points here, as there's big dropouts between second and third place. 18 points, 15 points, 3 points could matter at the end of the series.
Yeah, and believe it or not, Mike Davis is not in a bad spot because he's at this point he's not going to catch Tiselius or Grimshaw because, of course, he's off the back. But if he can consolidate some of those points by winning the field kick in his group, I believe it'll be for 5th place. He would maintain a decent position, also being that 40 is not in the race today. So 40 will lose some good spots in the overall standings, and it will be a mix-up between, Tiselius, Grimshaw, Davis, and maybe a couple other guys that's up in the front. So Rocketot's definitely got it in the bag. But as you said, Grimshaw is going to have to get some points here and hopefully take home that 2nd place. But Tiselius would definitely give him a run for his money if he's smart about it.
We can see that. I mean, just now Tiselius did attack out of the Ocean Boulevard, as you can see, actually, and the attacks are full on at this point. Now, Grimshaw did close it right on down, so it looks like Grimshaw will be holding onto that wheel here, and this is a very important moment for the series. And, looking back at the series, actually, we might look back at this moment, actually, and say this is where it was won, actually. We are seeing now Gray, though, I'm not sure if he's actually in the hunt. This would be his first race, actually. He could just steal some points, actually, from the rest of the riders. Rocketot will be taking the win, but we do not want to miss any of the actions in the sprint here. Taro Tiselius now up to the front here, 5.9 watts per kilogram. Gray following very closely there. Here comes Grimshaw now, though. Now up into 8 watts per kilogram here coming from Grimshaw. Now Gray, though, going to be the lead out man, it looks like. Grimshaw now coming around. Who's going to go first? It's kind of these little jabs right now. Jab, 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 but no full-on left hook coming at this point just yet. Where is the sprint?
I would get on my cell phone if I was Tiselius and say, hey, Gray, you attack. I won't chase you. I'll make Grimshaw chase you, and then I'll come over the top, and I'll work with you later.
Here it goes, though. Gray now 13 watts per kilogram at the front. Tiselius now coming around, and it's going to be Tiselius to the line, able to take that sprint. And that's going to matter for the series overall. 2nd place, he's got a win, a 3rd, a 2nd, and then 1 off the back of the podium there. But what a sprint there coming from Tiselius across the line now. So Sorman, though, now the B category now starting to sort itself out a little bit here. We'll see if we can find Hodges, though, up toward the front of the A's now. Debsky's here as well, though, it looks like, as well as Avelsberg. Davis now. Now, it looks like, did they actually finish the race here? Because I'm seeing some of them still in events, though, which is really interesting to see that some of them are still in these events
I'm
here.
watching Davis right now. He's actually sprinting. Davis is sprinting to the finish line. He's about 100 meters out, 13.4 watts per kilo, 15.2 watts per kilo at just at 900 watts. So Davis is going to clean up his field sprint, it looks like, for 5th place. But I'll tell you, Nathan, one thing I noticed is that they didn't have the 100, 200, 300 meter to go. I guess because they were coming reverse. So it was a little deceiving to know where the finish was. But they finished it up, and you could tell these guys stopped pedaling right away. There's not one pedal stroke left in them. That was a tough race.
It was definitely a tough race, and we are looking for the A's there. They are finishing up. Now, I do believe we do need to get going here, as I think we do have another broadcast coming in here in just a moment. So we're going to follow up with, I'm just going to double check and see if I do need to call it here, as I do want to catch, though, the sprint for the B category if we can. Just let me chat real quickly here, as I do believe we do. Yep, and it does look like there is another broadcast that is started up, at least over on Facebook, and we are going to be bringing that in for the it looks like there is a what top triathlete actually, Tim Don. I believe he is multi-time. Is he a multi-time world champion on the in the triathlon, in the Ironman, I believe, or at least the top Ironman competitor? Tim Don currently chatting with Tri 24/7 actually, and so we're gonna be bringing them in just a moment here. We're gonna follow up for the B category, and then we'll be bringing in the feed from that into the Twitch channel here. Then we'll be back as well for Zwift Community Live's Workout Wednesday with Matt Rowe. So lots going on the next couple hours here. If you want to jump in with Matt Rowe for his workout on Workout Wednesday, you can do that about an hour from now. But we will be live with Tim Don on his recovery. Actually, he actually has a neck brace on out on Zwift right now during a workout. So
wow.
Pretty amazing recovery it looks like coming through here. He was hit by a car actually in Ironman. I believe it was this past year. So he's in recovery, and we're going to be chatting with him. Well, I'm not going to be chatting with him, but Try 24/7 is currently chatting with him over on Zwift's Facebook, and he'll be live here on Twitch here in just a moment here. But Sorman here and Pearson, though, finishing up their race in the B category here. Thruin's there as well. 3 up for the sprint in the B category. What's going to be happening? Sorman, Pearson, Thrun. I'm going to call Sorman series leader. Pearson, though, 16 watts per kilogram here, Rasan. He's got the kick. Goes early.
It's a lot of power coming out of those legs.
I don't know. 1 second already. I don't think he's going to be caught here. Pearson.
No.
Killing it right now. And I'm not sure he's going to be. Actually, no, Pop Pearson. Excuse me. He's the series leader, and he's letting us know that he's got it actually here. That was me totally incorrect there.
That was
what
a nice
there.
peak. Yeah, he peaked at about 900 watts and held it around 700. So that was a really good kick by Pearson.
Yeah, Detrell there as well coming across the line. Not a part of the overall, actually. So just grabbing some points there, but I think he stole a few points from Sorman. And Sorman actually the more consistent rider, 21.5. But with that win, Pop Pearson, he's going to start to become unstoppable in this B category, I think, actually. So solid ride there from the B category riders. And let's just take a quick look at the results. It will be Benoit Raccadat for Team France with the win, winning by 22 seconds. Carl Teselius across the line for second. Sean Gray for third. Tom Grimshaw for fourth place from what I'm seeing here. I'm just going to double check and make sure I do have the results correct as they come in. And they are not generated yet, so we're going to have to wait for them to get generated here. Oven Jerkvik coming through here. Pure Climber. Surprised he was unable to take the win, though. Davis there. He did. He was out on Leith Hill, though, I think, yesterday, getting demolished by that climb as well. So Davis for sixth. Alvesberg, seventh. Henrik Ogier there for eighth here. Will be Claudius Debsky for ninth, and then Frank Larson for 10th. That is the top 10 in the A category. In the B category, Pop Pearson, Bob Detrell, Jan Thrun, Ricard Sorman, Mikkel Blom, and then Niels Creswell. Florin Vasiliscu there as well, rounding out the top 7, I believe, in the B category. So, Rasan, we're going to get over to the Try 24/7 with Tim Don.
Awesome.
Let those guys take over the Twitch live stream here, but thanks a lot for tuning in with us, Mersan. Always great to have you.
Always good to have you. Thanks for having me, and I will see you tomorrow. Now it's off to the lunch ride in the LBC.
All right, sounds
Peace,
good.
everyone.
Sounds good.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Great job to all the racers. Thanks, Mersan, and we'll see you soon. And that's it for me as well from Zwift Community Live headquarters. Nathan Garrett here. We're going to head on over to Tim Don and Try 24/7 as I tune out here. They're also live over on Zwift's Facebook page, actually, with that live stream as well. Great job to all the racers out there in the SZR Racing Series. And as always, everybody, ride on.